Hannibal Barca challenged Rome. Rome did not fear many men. It feared armies, nations, and rebellions, but rarely a single mind. And yet, across the mountains to the south, in the city of Carthage, there rose a man whose name would one day echo through Roman halls like a warning whispered too late. Hannibal Barca understand peace. As a child, he stood beside his father, Hannibal Barca, and swore an oath not of hatred but of purpose. Rome would not be accepted as invincible. Rome would be challenged. That oath would shape his life. While Rome relied on numbers, walls, and tradition, Hannibal relied on something far more dangerous: his mind. He studied terrain as if it were a weapon. He studied fear as if it were an ally. And he understood something Rome did not yet realize. Empires fall first in thought, long before they fall in stone. When Hannibal finally marched, he did not take the expected path. He did not sail directly toward Roman fleets. Instead, he chose the impossible, the frozen peaks of the Alps. Snow, cliffs, and hostile tribes stood where no army dared to pass. Rome laughed until Hannibal emerged on the other side. What crossed those mountains was not just an army, but a declaration. No obstacle was enough to stop him. Exhausted, outnumbered, and far from home, Hannibal pressed forward anyway. Every step was an act of defiance against logic itself. And then the battles began. At the Trebia River, Roman confidence shattered. At Lake Trasimene, entire legions vanished into mist and confusion. Andaci, cannibal Dinthable, he surrounded and defeated a Roman force larger than any he had ever commanded. It was not brute strength that won those battles. It was vision et patience. It was the ability to think while others reacted. Homie trembled. For the first time in its history, it felt vulnerable. Senators spoke his name in hushed voices. Mothers feared the roads. Generals hesitated. And yet Hannibal did not march on Rome itself. Not because he lacked courage, but because he understood something deeper. Rome was an idea, and ideas do not fall easily. Still, as the years passed and the war dragged on, allies fell away. Supplies thinned, reinforcements never came. Hannibal stood victorious on battlefields, but alone in strategy. It was during these long, grinding years that Hannibal is said to have spoken words that defined not only his war, but his life. The greatest battles aren't won with swords. They're won in the mind. Victory doesn't come from power, numbers, and weapons. It comes from the courage to face the impossible, to push forward when every voice around you tells you to stop. The real enemy is doubt. It will cripple you long before any army does. And the key to victory is to believe in yourself when no one does. Greatness isn't given, it's taken. It is earned in the darkest hours, when you refuse to back down. Victory starts in your mind. Those words were not spoken to inspire crowds. They were spoken to survive. In the end, Rome adapted. Time, resources, and relentless pressure turned the tide. Hannibal was called back to Carthage, forced into battles he could not control, against enemies who had learned from his genius. He was defeated not because he lacked brilliance, but because even the sharpest mind cannot fight an empire forever. Yet, Rome never forgot him. Centuries later, Roman mothers would quiet their children with a warning. Hannibal is at the gates. Because Hannibal Barca did not just challenge Rome's armies. He challenged Rome's belief in its own destiny. And though he did not bring Rome to its knees, he proved something far more lasting. That courage, guided by intellect, can shake even the mightiest empire. That greatness is not inherited. It is claimed through will, sacrifice, and the refusal to surrender to the impossible. And that the most dangerous weapon ever wielded against Rome was not a sword, it was a mind.